GCIS. They'll be hosting a webinar on Monday on transformation in the advertising sector under the topic racism and racial representation in adverts. The presidency issued this statement late on Wednesday against the backdrop of the ongoing nationwide controversy on local retailer Clicks and the advertisement for a hair product which depicted African women's hair as dry and damaged, while Caucasian women's hair was labeled normal. Government is inviting the public, including the private sector, to nominate people to serve on a statutory council that will advance transformation in the marketing, advertising and communications sector. Let's talk about this a little bit further with the PR Trends ZA Director, Nelisa Ngulane. Nelisa, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on the newsfeed.
Good afternoon, Tabwe. Thanks for having me.
Racially sensitive advertisement, it's not a new thing. In 2018, I think, 2 years ago, we saw the coolest monkey ad, which of course came out of H&M, again highlighting the need for standards to be set to govern how adverts are put together, particularly coming out of the private sector. Do you welcome the initiative by government to establish this kind of a body that will be setting up standards and looking at whether or not indeed our advertising is transformed?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the marketing and advertising charter has been there for quite some time, and it has sort of been gathering dust. So I guess we needed this kind of, awareness and conversation to push our government to make sure that the charter and the structure that will be looking after the charter, making sure that transformation does actually happen on the ground.
It just doesn't take a charter, isn't it, and a body to promote diversity and inclusiveness. In terms of a broader strategy, what is the feeling of the industry in terms of what steps need to be taken, particularly to protect consumers and their integrity and their human rights against such advertisement?
I mean, I think you're right. It takes more than just a body and a charter to make this change. It really needs actual buy-in from agencies, from industry, and for clear targets and expectations around what it is that we want to see in the industry, so that the consumer on the other end does not suffer as a result of lack of diversity and lack of transformation within the teams that produce the material that we see.
Yeah. What have we learned? I mean, we know H&M put together a global transformation team which was led globally to deal with those issues. We know now that Clicks has also put together some kind of team and taken their staff to training on racial sensitivity and so on and so forth. I mean, what have we really learned from these big incidents? I know there are other smaller ones that keep coming up here and there.
So what we have learned is that a lot of these brands and corporates have simply just been paying lip service to the idea of transformation within their organizations, and their understanding of representation has obviously been found wanting during this time. So hopefully from the engagements that have happened, it is now clear what changes need to happen internally.
So then, I mean, that says to me this council would need to be given some kind of teeth to be able at least to issue out some kind of sanctions at those who would be lawbreakers, so to speak.
Absolutely. I mean, I think part of the challenge has been that there is no real recourse when it comes to, keeping those offending brands into making them accountable. There hasn't been, real consequences to these transgressions, so to speak.
Yeah.